Here at World Pork Expo in Des Moines, Iowa, we're at the ChrHansen tent. ChrHansen develops feed solutions to meet the nutritional demands of livestock while providing healthy economic returns to producers. Joining me is Mark Bertram with First Choice Livestock. Mark, good to see you. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
And also with us is Bob Lance with ChrHansen. Bob, thank you for joining. Let's talk about ChrHansen being the global leader for over 20 years now in direct fed microbials. And we want to talk about a particular probiotic, BioPlus 2B. Why does this continue to be a leader in the market?
Well, Mike, I think it comes down to a couple of things. And first of all, we believe that BioPlus 2B is the gold standard in probiotics, at least in the swine industry. But I think really, to answer your question, BioPlus 2B for years has been the only probiotic in the marketplace that's dual strain. Has a strain of Bacillus lichtenformis, a strain of Bacillus subtilis, and each one of those strains brings a unique characteristic to the product. The Bacillus lichtenformis has demonstrated the ability to improve the health situation in the gut. On the other hand, the Bacillus subtilis is a big enzyme producer, allows the pig to better utilize the nutrition in the diet. And so in one product, we've got a combination of things that will help from a health perspective and can also aid from the ability to digest nutrients. The other area then that is really important to understand is that BioPlus 2B is without question, the most well-documented and researched probiotic in the industry. Not just ChrHansen research, but university research and research from our customers. And what we've learned from that research is really to better understand the mode of action of bacillus organisms. And those certainly would include things like competitive exclusion, where basically we're talking about feeding millions, or if not billions, of bacteria to pigs and crowding out the bad pathogenic bacteria in the digestive tract. In addition to that, there's some inhibition properties that we've seen the potential for bacillus to inhibit the growth of some bad bacteria. You combine those together, and what you end up with is a really nicely modulated gut microflora. It's an environment where lactic acid bacteria can proliferate, and of course that's going to benefit the pig. And then we've seen evidence of helping the immune system. And so when you get in that situation where you need to use some therapeutics to treat a particular disease, we see good response there. And then finally, bacillus are good enzyme producers, and again, that helps that pig to better utilize the nutrition in the diet.
Well, let's talk more about that, Mark. When we talk about bacillus producing enzymes, why is that important both to the pig and to the producer?
Well, the main thing to keep in mind is the bacillus are natural enzyme producers, and their total goal is to increase the likelihood of proliferation and growth of their organisms. So what they're going to do is produce the enzymes that they need to help to digest the feed particles that they're surrounded by in the intestinal tract, thereby releasing the glucose, the amino acids, and the things that they need to grow. So as the substrates in the diet change, different feed ingredients, for example, the bacillus are going to change the types of enzymes that they produce in order to maximize their growth rate. Pig is going to benefit from that, obviously, through increased digestibility of the feed. The bugs will reabsorb some of those nutrients, but the pig will also reabsorb some of those. So you're going to have the ability to increase the digestibility of all nutrients in the diet. You also, what that allows the producer to do then is there's two ways to take advantage of this increased digestibility. One is to allow the nutritionist or the producer to somewhat down-formulate the diets, have somewhat lower levels of energy, lower levels of amino acids, increase the digestibility of those to maintain performance of the animals while doing that at a lower cost. A secondary way to take advantage of those that increased digestibility that comes about because of the enzyme production is to add the bacillus on top of the current diet. Increase the digestibility of the ingredients, allow that pig to grow faster and more efficiently. That could be particularly important if you have pen density issues where at late finishing, when pen density becomes somewhat limiting to growth potential, increasing digestibility can help offset some of that depression that we see in growth and late finishing. Also, during periods of warmer weather, when growth rate tends to decrease, if we need to increase the market weights of those animals, that increased digestibility of adding the BioPlus on top of a current diet can be of a great value to the producers.
As we wrap it up, Bob, let's talk about what ChrHansen has done then in terms of enzyme-related work with your Bacillus strain.
Well, Mike, our scientists at ChrHansen in the innovations group have developed a patented technique where we can take an existing Bacillus strain, literally train it to grow faster, to produce more enzymes, and to be able to do this in a high bile environment. So, as an example, we have a subtilis strain that we've taken through this process that now will multiply twice as fast in the pig, produce 2.5 times the enzymes. And through this entire process, we've really evaluated about 100 different strains of Bacillus. And the thing that's interesting about it, and maybe not surprising, but we find that all these strains are different. Some of them produce high levels of NSP enzymes. Some of them might produce high levels of protease enzymes. But I think it really drives home an important point for the producer and the nutritionist to understand that when you're looking at selecting a Bacillus organism to use in the diets, it's really important not just to say that, I want a Bacillus or I want a Bacillus subtilis, but you need to take it to the next step and understand what that strain is. And so as you're making that decision, what products do I want to use, you need to be working with someone who's got that research, who's done the work, who can understand and bring to you the benefits of that particular strain. And then that alludes a little bit to what Mark talked about in terms of giving you some flexibility. Do I want to use alternative ingredients, or do I have a production situation where perhaps I have the opportunity to add extra pounds? And so it really provides you that flexibility, and that's what we're really excited about with our new product called BioPlus YC.
So, Mark, we're talking about management decisions here.
Yes, definitely. BioPlus YC is we have, through the research that the scientists at ChrHansen, that the scientists at ChrHansen have conducted, we understand better the mode of action, how these products work, the fact that they are increasing the enzyme levels in the diet, and we have several then ways of utilizing it. We've looked at dose titration studies, understanding how much energy is released by the enzyme activity of the Bacillus. We've looked at what the growth response of individual pigs are, what the growth response of group house pigs are, and really having understanding how to fine-tune and tailor the response to what the individual needs of the producers are.
So, Bob, there's flexibility here, a lot of options for producers.
Absolutely, and I'd encourage every producer to visit with ChrHansen, or your nutritionist, or visit with your feed supplier and find out if the solutions that we have to offer are going to be appropriate for your particular situation.
From the ChrHansen tent at World Pork Expo at the Iowa State Fairgrounds in Des Moines, I'm Mike Adams.